Almost everyone knows the famous animated tennis line commonly called Chase Review, but it was in fact not created by Chase. This technology is a part of a large suite of sport-enhancing products called Hawkeye. Hawkeye technology was firstly developed in the United Kingdom by Paul Hawkins and David Cherry on April 1st, 2001. The technology was originally created for the sole purpose of enhancing the experience of those watching from a television screen. At its first release, the sports entertainment industries began to skyrocket, causing for an increase in the economy. Together, there are 26 total members who allow for Hawkeye to work throughout a specific sports game. Hawkeye technology is used in sports such as tennis, cricket, soccer, NASCAR, rugby, golf, and football. It was first developed by engineers at Roke Manor Research Institute in Romsey, England in 2001. However, the patent is held by Paul Hawkins and David Cherry.
It's first used in cricket about 10 years ago, and I think in tennis 7 or 8 years ago.
The system was first used during a test match between Pakistan and England at Lord's Cricket Ground on April 1st, 2001 in London, England, and it was first used in tennis in the 2006 US Open. It all began as an experiment to see if the technology would function correctly in a normal sports game. After seeing the great visuals that the technology produced, several industries began to take notice into the specific system, and Hawkeye technology soon began to become popular. Not only did this have a massive effect on the creators Paul Hawkins and David Cherry, but also on sports television as a whole. This technology allowed for people watching on devices to have a better experience in watching the sports they love. Also, Hawkeye has succeeded in thousands of games and tournaments, including Wimbledon, the Queen's Club Championships, the Australian Open, the Davis Cup, the Tennis Masters Cup, and other tournaments. In any stadium equipped with Hawkeye ball tracking technology, there will be at least 8 motion tracking depth-aware cameras, if not more. These cameras are placed precisely throughout the stadium, and their locations are known by 1/10 of an inch. The cameras do not move when tracking the ball. Each of the cameras are constantly tracking the ball within their field of view using highly trained machine learning algorithms. The cameras are equipped with depth sensors which allow them to know their distance from the ball they are tracking. The system uses various methods of triangulation to determine the exact location of the ball. At least 3 cameras are required for triangulation. However, more can be used for increased accuracy. Information such as the location of the ball within the camera's field of view and the distance from the ball is all passed to the controller. The controller runs software that uses the known distance from each camera to triangulate the position of the ball. To visualize this, the circles with radii equal to the distance for the respective camera to the ball are drawn with their center at the camera. The ball is located at the point where the 3 circles intersect. This whole process takes place hundreds of times per second as the ball flies around the court. However, this is just ball tracking. Hawkeye also uses the information about the ball's position to calculate its trajectory over time. Therefore, the system can even predict where the ball would land, even if the ball was stopped. The system takes many factors into account when calculating the position of the ball. Impacting factors such as wind or rain that could possibly move or shake the camera are taken into account during the calculations. Other factors that may impact the view of the cameras, such as sun glare, spectators walking from the cameras, or other objects that may obstruct the camera's view, are counteracted or even removed with machine learning. When it comes time for an official review, Hawkeye feeds the information about the ball's position, trajectory, weight, the material of the court, wind, and more into a virtual simulation that shows the popular animated graphic of the ball bouncing on the court and leaving behind its mark. Factors such as skid and the compression of the ball are taken into account when calculating the mark for the ball and making this animation. The accuracy of Hawkeye has drastically improved with time. When the system was first introduced in 2007 during the Wimbledon tennis tournament, the margin of error was 3.6 millimeters. Over time, the technology has enhanced and recently decreased a margin of error of 2.2 millimeters.
I think Roger Federer would be a good example, because when it first came out, he was one that was kind of against it and said, the human element should always be in tennis. But since it's been used, I think he's bought in, and most of the players accept it. As I said, there's a few of them that will question it now and then, and as I said, there are times that it's wrong, but the vast majority of players accept it and understand that it's good for tennis.
The International Tennis Federation, that only approves ball tracking technology with a margin of error of 5 millimeters, has used Hawkeye technology for years. There has been some controversy surrounding the system since it has been used in tournaments. The effectiveness of ball tracking technology begins with how cameras record ball movement and create a virtual replay. Cameras are not able to catch every moment of a ball's flight, and fast-flying tennis balls can move several feet between frames. If the frame speed is, say, 100 frames per second and the ball is moving at about 100 miles per hour, it will travel about 1.5 feet between frames. Hawkeye technology depends on mathematical formulas to estimate what actually happened in between frames of the tennis ball. When asked if Hawkeye errors could be constant or predictable, inventors have said Hawkeye errors do not fall in a normal distribution. The inventors were also reluctant to share math and formulas used to reach conclusions.
It's definitely brought a little level of excitement. You see, like on match points, people will appeal the call no matter what. it can be wrong, which I think some people are starting to see. So that's added to a little bit of intensity in the crowd sometimes when they're playing.
Although there may be some resentment of the system due to its accuracy, it has been proven that the system is more reliable than any umpire's decision.
It's made the line calls more consistent. You know, there's less error, obviously, without using the umpires. There are some issues at tournaments where some courts have Hawkeye and other courts do not. So you still have human error there, but it's drastically changed tennis, actually.
This controversy has led to a lot of backlash on the system, which was created to give players and fans a clear answer to controversial calls.